Hello and welcome to Goff Legal. My name is Ali Goff. I am the owner and founder, and I'm so excited today to be going over guardianship. This video is designed to give you a sneak peek into some of the letters that I recommend that you accompany your estate plan with. They fall into two categories. One of them is a letter to your children. The second is a letter to your guardians. And when I say guardians, I mean the people or the person that you have nominated to care for your children in the event that you are unable to because of disability or incapacity or death. Not a fun topic. No one likes to think about what's going to happen when they're not here and around for their children. But this is a really important component of estate planning, and we want to make sure that you have everything taken care of. Why? What's the big reason? So you don't have to worry about it. So you have to think about it, because if you don't take care of these items, if you haven't written these things down, chances are they're milling around in your head. What would happen if? Does my guardian know enough things? What are my children going to think? Do they have all the resources they need? Whew, let's set that aside. Let's go through these letters together. I have this resource on my website, gofflegal.com. It also should be posted a link below this video, which will help you go through what to put in this letter. So this isn't necessarily a letter, but these are prompts designed to get you in a place where you feel good about what is going to be in your letter. So first, the children's letter. And I also recommend, by the way, that you do this once a year. I know. Lot to do, I get it. But think about it, as your kid gets older, the things you might want to tell them, your memories you might have of them probably change. And how cool is it going to be when they're 18 and now they have a packet of letters from you to them, one every year, that has a little bit different information? I just think it's a really cool idea and a great way to communicate with your child, because chances are you're probably going to live past them turning 18 anyway. So might as well have this wonderful memento. So we're talking about the letter to the children. My recommendation is to start with why. Tell them why you're writing the letter. I also recommend you talk about a few favorite memories, maybe your proudest moment in their life, something you regretted potentially that you wish that they knew. Values. Oh my gosh, I love values for family. Like, what do you think your kids should know about how you live your life? What values would you want them to carry on if you're not here to teach that to them? What did you want for them? Did you want them to have a specific career or live in a certain place or have certain experiences? Maybe you thought it was really valuable for them to go live in Europe for 6 months after college or have the gap year. Maybe you should tell them that so that they have a little bit more permission to do those things if you're not here. Oh, something they didn't know about you. Could be funny or silly or something a little bit deeper that you think you'd want them to know. Maybe something you want them to remember about you. Because if they're really young, they might not have a ton of memories. And if you write this down, they will have that memory, that thing forever. And then, of course, anything else, as you sort of start writing this, you're like scribbling it down or you're typing in a Word document, whatever comes to you, keep typing. Write the things that are meaningful for you at the time. You can always edit it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The first draft doesn't have to be magical, but something is better than nothing. Write it down. Okay. That is my suggestion. And then, conclude, you can come up with something that is meaningful for you, a quote or something like that, whatever you want. And then date it, sign it if you feel like it. Again, this isn't a legally binding document. This is just information that you want to pass on to your children. And final note on the children's letter, again, it's not a legally binding document. It even says that on my resource. This is not a legally binding document. It's for reference only. It's not going to inform the guardians on what they can and can't do. It's designed to give information and memories to your children. So let's talk about the second letter. And I think it's an important component because probably you want to approach it in a different style with different, maybe more descriptive information about the future versus memories. So this is for the guardian of the person who would be taking care of your children, taking the doctor, deciding where they go to school, what kind of sports, activities they participate in. This is the letter for them. So this is important, again, as we talked about, because we want to make sure that they have some practical guidance. The guardianship nominations that the lawyers draft say something pretty boring and effective to the effect of, when I'm gone, I want this person to be my guardian, and then this person and this person. And there's something about bond and something about, court supervision. That's not really helpful for a guardian. It gets them in the door. It has the language we need to put them in a place where the court can appoint them as a guardian, but that's not real life. I always say there's the law and there's real life. That's the law. This is real life. What would you want your guardian to know about your children and how you'd raise them if they have the opportunity or they say yes to that request? So again, this is guidance. It's not a legal document. And last thing before I say what the letter should contain is, please talk to the guardians before you nominate them. It's a really good idea that the people you nominate actually will follow your wishes and will potentially accept the nomination. If you don't, there's two risks. One, you have to go back to your lawyer and pay them again to update the document. Or two, they won't say yes and there'll be a gap in your planning, and then it's whatever family member comes up next saying, I think I should be the guardian. So talk to them first, please. Thank you. All right, the letter. Let's get some information about your child, their name, their phone number, their email, those sorts of things. I know kids have emails now. Again, explain why you're writing to the letter to the guardian so they have some context. Maybe talk about the values you want them to instill in your child, what kind of things that you think are important. Educational goals. Do you have something in mind in terms of what kind of education they pursue? Is a bachelor's the most important thing, or is it personal growth, trade school, medical school? What kind of things do you think that they would be really good at, or what kind of school would be a good fit for them? What kind of non-academic activities are important? Should they play or not play? Some people are very passionate about sports in one way or the other. Maybe you want to encourage sports. Maybe you would never want your kid to do fill in the blank sports. Tell your guardian that so that they have that information. Also, I'd recommend writing down all the important people in your child's life: physicians, dentists, tutors, babysitters, therapists, grandparents, best friends, play areas, those sorts of things. Maybe talk about their favorite foods or their favorite movies. Or again, in times of crisis, we want kids to feel comfortable. So if the guardians know what makes that kid comfortable, it'll be easier to provide for them. I also do recommend talking about your faith or religious beliefs so that, again, your guardian has an idea of what you would want to instill in your children, or at least provide access to. This goes to, you should talk to your guardian first to make sure, yes, I will, take them to church, or I will provide access to these resources or these people or these spiritual leaders. That's a really important, if that's really important to you, you should talk to your guardian about that. And then lastly, any other wishes that you think are important, speak from the heart, give them the information. And again, like I said, not a legal binding document, but so useful and so important. And in some respects, I think might be equally as important because it's the real life. It's how we actually would follow your instructions. And even if you tell someone all of this information, you can't really expect that they're necessarily going to remember all the details. So having it written is a really great place for the guardian to go and have reference to what kind of decisions you'd want to be made. If you have any questions about guardianships, we do have estate plans that encompass guardianship planning, children's trusts, all that stuff. And we can be reached at gofflegal.com. You can email us at info@gofflegal or call the phone 916-625-6556. I hope this has been helpful. You can download this resource and use it for free as often as you like. Every year, in fact, I encourage it. All right, talk to you guys later.